Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. For today, I'm going to be making this really cute kind of winter, I guess you could maybe even call it like a Christmas card, but it's nothing like Christmas specific. The sentiment just says let it snow, and it's a really cute little snowman card that I absolutely fell in love with. I'll be honest, I was not planning on doing any kind of like winter or holiday, like Christmassy type cards for another couple weeks. But I started playing with this Let It Snow embellishment kit, and when we get into this, I will show you it's amazing, and I absolutely fell in love, so I had to make something like right away. And this is the card I came up with. It's really, really fun, really bright and sparkly, and it's also super, super easy to make. So let's jump into what we are going to need for today. Whoops, I'm trying to set it off to the side. So we are going to be using the Snowman Season stamp set, as well as the Snowman Builder Punch. So these two come in a bundle, and actually, I have my catalog right here. I don't know if you probably won't be able to see the whole thing, but a lot of these products come in the Let It Snow suite. So as we were talking about with, or I showed you guys with my, oh shoot, what did I do not too long ago? I can't remember the name. My Monster Bash little coffin boxes. A lot of those products came in one suite. A lot of these products also come in a suite. So not that I'm trying to like harp on that or anything. It's just really, really convenient that a lot of the coordinating products you can get really, really easily. So most of these are part of the Let It Snow suite. Just throwing that out there. If you don't want the whole suite, these two do come in a bundle as well if you wanted to pick those up. So like I was already saying, also part of the suite, we have the Let It Snow embellishment kit. Super adorable. We'll get into that in a second. We also have the Snowfall Accents Puff Paint, which is amazing. It gives this like snow detail that we have on the front of the card. Super adorable. And then for our stamp pad, we're going to be using Coastal Cabana. Not a typical Christmas color that you would initially think of, but it works so, so well with this project. This paper actually, which I guess we'll get into next, is the Let It Snow Specialty Designer Series paper. Actually has a lot of the Coastal Cabana colors in it. Sorry, I'm trying to grab it over here. So you'll see a lot of them are this like light bluish green, and that's actually Coastal Cabana. One of the great things, and I just posted about this a couple days ago, sorry, I'm like throwing stuff around and making a mess. With our like suites and stuff, since everything coordinates, you can really just pick up your designer series paper, look on the back for the colors that are listed in here, and most likely you'll have all the colors you need to kind of create a really nice project pretty effortlessly, because everything is right there for you. I was trying to see what I dropped. It was just my mouse. So we're going to be using this designer series paper. The one sheet that we're going to be using is this one right here. So to make it a little bit easier to find for you, it has all of these sparkly snowmen on the front. That's what makes it specialty designer series paper. Quite a few of the papers have sparkles on them. So it has these little snowmen on the front, and then on the back it's got this red kind of like watercolor-esque pattern with a lot of little dots that look a little bit like snow. So we're going to need this paper. You don't need the full sheet. We're going to be using these larger snowmen that don't have like any kind of accessories with them. We're going to be using that guy. And then also from that designer series paper stack, we're going to be using this one, which is a bunch of little trees, and the little green trees here actually have glitter on them. The back is a striped pattern, this white, green, and red stripes. And for this piece, we're going to use, this piece is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. We also have here some of the Real Red Glimmer paper. This, ooh, sorry, I have stuff all over here. This is cut at 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. I have a small piece of regular Whisper White, which is cut at 3 by 4. And then I have my card base here, which is a piece of thick Whisper White. Again, I always recommend using thick Whisper White for a card base because it just holds up a little bit better. This is cut at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. You'll see I have my logo here. Now I stamp all of my cards with my logo on the back in case I ever want to give them away. I don't really sell my cards really, but if I ever want to give them away, people will know where they got them. So Oh, and the other kind of unique thing that you will need is a heat tool because that is required to use the Snowfall Accents puff paint. So that's everything that we're going to need for today. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is kind of create the snowman and his little element that he's in. So we're going to take this piece of Whisper White. This piece of Designer Series paper that has all the snowmen on it. And like I said, we're going to be using this guy here that doesn't have any kind of embellishment or anything with him. All the others have like a hat or scarves and a hat. You want the guy that doesn't have anything with him. And I'm just going to cut him out. Doesn't need to be precise. You do want to leave a little bit of room at the top and a little bit of room on the sides just because it makes punching him out a little bit easier. And you actually want to cut off quite a bit on the bottom or else it won't fit in the punch. So I might have to cut off a little bit more, but we will see. So I'm going to take my Snowman Builder punch here and I'm going to slide this little guy in, and he fits perfectly in this punch. So what I do, and it's easier for me if I put it flat on the table and I turn it upside down, you can just see it a little bit easier. So I just put it in there, and then with my fingers, I just kind of move it around. If you leave enough space at the top, you can have a piece that sticks out. You can kind of move it around that way, but I find that this works pretty well, and it's not too difficult to get a really good punch from him. So I'm just now picking it up and looking at it, giving it one last check and move around, and then, oops, that's not what I wanted. This one's being a little difficult. Okay, there we go. Oops, almost. There. And then I'm just going to punch it out. And okay, sorry about that. My camera battery died. So we're back. So I punched out my little snowman, and like I was kind of saying, I don't know if I cut off before or after or not, but when you cut it out, you'll get a couple extra bits because it is the Snowman Builder. So you have like a hat and a little nose and a couple of arms. So you may get some of those little extra bits that come out also with your leftovers. I personally just toss them. You can keep them if you want to. I just didn't have a need for them. I just wanted my cute little snowman. So I'm going to take my little snowman and I'm going to set him off to the side and leave him to hang out for a minute. And I'm going to bring in my smaller piece of Whisper White. I'm going to grab my Coastal Cabana ink and my little stamp here that says Let It Snow. And I'm going to stamp this in the bottom in the center, something like this, just like that. Super, super easy, and that's all the stamping we're going to be doing. Everything else is really, really fun techniques. So now I'm going to grab my little snowman again, and I'm going to kind of look and see where he should fit. I'm going to grab my little silicone craft mat here. Just makes it a little bit easier. It's 100% unnecessary. You don't have to have it. But for me, it made it a little bit easier trying to adhere one of our little embellishments. So I'm going to open up our little box here, and this stuff is absolutely adorable. So you get this really pretty glitter washi, which we're not going to use today. You get these like little snowballs, which are super cute. This would be really fun to make with a shaker card out of. You have these little guys, which, oh, we're going to use these. We should use these right now. We should do this right now is really what I meant to say. So you have some arms, you have some carrots, and then some coal pieces, which we will be using those. And then you also have 4 different colors in these felt sheets. You have mittens. Here, I'll just rip them out so you can see them. You have these little mittens here, which are adorable. You have a hat, which we're going to be using today. And then you also have a little sweater, and you have a couple variations. So you have another sweater. So this one has little stars. This one just has stripes on it. And then, like I said, you get those in 4 different colors. So for today, though, we're only going to be using the hat, and you can obviously pick any color you want out of here. And then we're going to be using some of these little coal pieces and then the arms. So I'm going to put the rest of this stuff off to the side so we don't have to worry about it right now. I'm going to start with my coal pieces. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. Oops, I don't actually need that. And I'm going to use the poker here. And this step is totally unnecessary. I just wanted to use as many of these little embellishments as I could. So I am going to, because you already have the little dots here. You already have the little black spots there that are supposed to be coal. I just wanted to add an extra little embellishment to it. So I'm putting these little guys in that, in the little openings there. And then I just need 2 more. Maybe. There's 1. And the final one. Maybe. There we go. Okie dokie. We are going to use these again in a second, but I'm going to hold off for using those. So next I'm going to grab my tear and tape, which is something that I didn't mention in the beginning, but I do recommend using tear and tape as the adhesive for this project. Some of the things you don't need it for, like adhering the card to the card base, you don't necessarily need to use tear and tape. I'm going to, just so I don't have to use a bunch of different adhesives, but for some of this stuff you absolutely should. So what I'm going to do is take my little hat, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to get a piece of tear and tape. And I'm going to, where this little poof is, I'm going to stick my piece of tear and tape right underneath the poof and then all the way down. And then I'm going to peel it back a little bit and I'm going to cut it so that it's only on the hat and we don't have any hangover because we don't really want that. And then I'm just going to take use the thing for my take a pick tool again. And this is a little difficult to try to get the backing to remove and the tear and tape to stick to the hat. You have to play with it for a second, but once you get it, it's pretty easy. And then we're just going to take this and we're going to flip it over and we're going to stick it down to our little snowman's head. The reason that I said that having the craft sheet here is useful is because you do have a little bit of extra tear and tape, which you want. That it's easy to stick it down to the craft mat and then just pull it up. And it sticks fairly decently. It's much more secure once we actually put it onto our card. So I'd be a little bit careful with it, but it's pretty secure. It's not really going to move much. So I'm going to take this and set that off to the side. And now I'm going to bring back over the little piece that we just stamped. And I'm going to take another piece of tear and tape. And there may totally be an easier way to do this. This is just what I found works the best. So what I will show you guys for today. I'm going to take another piece of tear and tape and I'm going to start it at the bottom of the snowman and it's going to go all the way up to the top of the hat. Just like that. And then again, using my take your pick tool, peel off the back. And we'll put him down right here in the center. So I want him pretty close to my sentiment. That gives me a little bit of room up at the top for some snow and stuff, but not a lot. He's pretty centered in the card, which I really like. So now is the super, super fun part. We get to play with this Snowfall Accents puff paint. It is absolutely amazing. So you'll see here I went a little crazy. I'm not going to go as crazy on this card. I was just playing. That was my first time playing with this stuff and I am absolutely obsessed. You could do so many fun things with this. It is not even funny. So the way that this works is you put it down on your card and then, or on your cardstock, and then you use your heat tool and heat it up and it puffs up. It's really, really cool. Like I said, we'll do this together in a second. What I would suggest doing is having a scrap of paper. So I just have this scrap of Whisper White because sometimes normally the first time you do it, you get these air bubbles. And if you get air bubbles, it makes a really big dot, kind of like these. And maybe that's what you're going for. For me, I want a much more smaller dot kind of look. So I just kind of dab a little bit off a couple times on that sheet first. And then I literally just dab all over, squeezing the bottle slightly. You don't really have to squeeze it too hard to get some to come out. It comes out pretty well on its own. I think I'm going to leave it at that for right now. I may add more in a minute, but I want to go ahead and look and see what this looks like first, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to move my scratch piece off to the side. And then, like I said, all you do is turn your heat tool on. I'm putting it on the the highest heat, and then it'll puff up. So I'm probably going to mute this just so that it's not super loud for you guys, but you should be able to see it puff up. So hopefully you guys saw that and I wasn't too in the way, or the camera wasn't too far away, but as it dries, it literally just puffs up. So these couple spots over here, I didn't let them heat up long enough, so I still had after I had gone over everything, I still saw a little bit of like a liquidy kind of look to them. So I just went back and hit them again and they puffed up really well. There are a couple spots, especially on this side, that I didn't get enough on there for it to really heat up. So I'm going to go back and just go over those spots one more time. And then I really think that it's good there. I'm not going to do too much more. I might do like one big one up here just to kind of balance it out. And one right there. But other than that, I think I'm good. So I'm going to heat this again and then we will go from there. Okay, so I think we're good. This one went like crazy out of control. But you can also just kind of tap it down and it'll kind of go down a little bit. So now we are going to take our little embellishments again, and I'm going to take the little arms. And the reason that I wait to do this is just because I don't really want to heat up the stickers. I heat up obviously the ones that we put on his little belly already, but these, because they're being stuck down in a kind of weird area, like I just feel better doing those later. So I did that last. So that is our cute little snowman. Ooh, let me move this off to the side before I stick my arm in it. Oh, I already did. So that's our cute little snowman. And now it's really just a matter of putting this card all together. So what we are going to do is flip this over. Like I said, the snow is kind of going to get pushed down just a little bit when we do this. I don't really care that much. You can obviously compile your entire card first and then do the snow last. Again, I just am wary about heating up the adhesive like that. And I don't know anything for sure will happen to the strength of the adhesive. I just also don't want to chance it. And the snow getting pushed down just a little bit when I'm kind of putting the card together, I don't mind, because I actually like the look of the snow being a little less puffy, if that's a way to describe it. So, whoa. And like I said earlier, I'm using tear and tape just because I didn't want to have to get out another adhesive. You absolutely don't have to use tear and tape for all of this. I would recommend using it for adhering this piece down to our red glimmer paper, which is what we're doing right now. But other than that, you don't really have to use it for putting the card together. Like I said, I just didn't want to pull out another adhesive. So now we're going to take our red glimmer paper and we are going to adhere this guy onto our red glimmer. And you know what? Let's mix it up this time. Let's put him kind of like at an angle. Does that look cute? Nope, I'm going to keep him straight. You know me, I'm all about mixing it up on the fly and just seeing what happens. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then now we're going to flip this piece over, take some more tear and tape. Like I said, this is the part that you probably don't need to use tear and tape for. I'm just going to because, yeah. I've only said it like 18 times, so I feel like you guys get the gist now. But sometimes people don't want to use tear and tape and it's just easier to use snail. And if you feel like that, go for it. Because of the different parts and elements that we have on this card, you do really need to use tear and tape for some of it because it is just a super strong adhesive. But you don't need to use it for everything. All this other stuff will stick by itself. Well, not by itself. You have to use some kind of adhesive, but nothing super, super strong. Oh, and you know what? I'll finish peeling these off. What I am going to do, and actually I should have done it with the real red piece also. Come on, little buddy. There we go. I'm going to set this off to the side just for a second in the in an effort, that's the word I was looking for, to minimize how much you stick down the puffiness. I'm going to put this piece onto my card base first. Like I said, I could have done that with the real red piece also. And then I'm going to stick everything down to that. You know, order of operations, not the smartest thing I've ever done, but also not the worst. So one last piece. This is the only thing that I don't like about tear and tape and using it as my main adhesive is that you have to, it just takes longer, right? Because you have to tear 4 pieces and stick it down, and now I have to peel the backings off. I have become a pro at peeling the backings off of tear and tape, though. I will say that much. Okie pokey. Oh no, I got some stuff on my card base. Womp womp. Oh well, that should be primarily covered with our card. Okay, so now I'm going to take my card, or my designer series paper, and put it down onto my card base, just like so. And now I'm going to take this piece and also put it on my card base, just like this. Oh my gosh, so stinking adorable. And then the last thing to do is to fold this over. Stick that bad boy down, and there we go. We have this cute, adorable little snowman card. I think it's so sweet. You could send this to somebody just as like a wintertime greeting or during the holidays. I know a lot of people send out holiday cards, and if you have somebody that doesn't celebrate Christmas or doesn't celebrate the holiday that you celebrate, this would be a really nice one to just give as just an overall like thinking of you during the holidays type of card. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, you can get all of these products by visiting littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. Coordinating blog post is in the description box below, or you can head over to littlemooncreation.com to find all of that stuff that I just talked about. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!